Aminé is a rapper whom I've had my eye on for quite a long time, and it's not like kind of explaining what Aminé is more or less than just another rapper in the game. Aminé, what's always really struck me best about his style is that he's always not taken himself like half as seriously as most rappers do. He's not ever rapping. There's a cat on my desk, so if any weird things happen, it's probably because he's there. He's behind the camera right now. But certain rappers have takes himself very seriously, very gritty, very raw, and he's never really been that for me. I found his debut album, Good For You, one of the most fun albums, and just generally speaking, harmless fun I had in 2017 in terms of music. The production is great on it. I didn't love the features on it that much, but I thought it had nice energy. It was really kind of fun. Nothing on the album took itself too seriously, and that's something I like to hear in hip hop. I'm happy hip hop takes itself very seriously, because if it didn't, I wouldn't love the genre nearly as much as I do. But hearing artists kind of go the way Aminé does his style is something I really enjoy to hear. I didn't end up going to hear any single from this album. I'm pretty sure we only had a couple singles from this. I'm not actually sure what's been released. I know the Young Thug track, Compensating, was released prior to this. I didn't hear it because this is an album that I just kind of went in, okay, I kind of want to hear this solo, just without any pre-content, just going into it pretty open-minded. Also because I've just been excited to hear the sophomore album from him, and he's been gone for 3 years now. He did release a mixtape last year, which I have yet to listen to, but I mean, like, in a solo studio album, we haven't heard something from him. And this is nothing big or bulky. It's around 44 minutes. It's only around 14 tracks long. Kind of going through this track list, the opening track, Burden, isn't one of my favorites off this album. I feel like it has a kind of grimier, raw energy to it, a more dark energy, but the problem with it is that it has a very strange loop that he decides to play in the background that just doesn't really work to the song's advantage. And the result of the song is still something I download, something I saved because I enjoy it, but it's something that's just not one of my favorites on the album. It's followed up with something a lot better. The track Woodlawn, it has better energy, has a lot more aggressiveness. It has a nicer flute beat that actually really worked for me. He also pays tributes to Kobe on this song, and it's a great song, but then the Kobe tributes get even better with the skit Kobe, or Aminé just talks about how Kobe's passing kind of killed his innocence as a person, and he had to realize that he needed to grow up, get more into the world. And I like that in the content of the album. I don't know how useful it is to have one skit that doesn't actually tie anything in, but I enjoyed it fine. It's something interesting to hear on it, but it's nothing that's going to tie the album together. But I do think it leads well into the next track, which isn't about Kobe, but it does have that same more depressive energy with the track Roots, which is probably my favorite off of this album. It's a little more angrier, but it's a lot more depressing and sad. Charles Wilson's vocals are beautiful and amazing, but honestly, my standout of this song is JID, whom dropped 3 verses today. He dropped his verse on Lockdown Remix, which I already did a reaction to. Loved his verse there. By the way, Serial was one of the best songs I've heard all year. My God, I wish I reacted to that. That was amazing. But his verse here is also amazing. Because JID is somebody who just always, he never disappoints. He always just brings his best energy, his best game, his best lyrics. And he does that here. He continues to bring that energy really nicely. There's some nice looping samples in the background. And overall, it's just a track that I feel like is the best to come out of this album. It's the most emotional, the most raw, and the most just almost slow-taking song. Next is the track Can't Decide, which has one of the best beats, I think, off this album. It has a more Latin kind of style beat. It's about a toxic relationship. It actually really works. The only problem I do have with the song, though, is I don't think the hook really works. I think it has a nice bridge. The bridge leading into the hook is really good, but the problem with the hook is it's way too watered down. It's honestly pretty annoying, and it just overall doesn't really give the best impression off the song. It has a really nice Latin beat, but if that hook was better mixed and just better done, I would think this is one of the better songs to come off of the album. Next is the song Compensating, which is in comparison to be one of the worst. I don't actually have much problem with the song. I think it's just the only song in this album that I just found myself finding pretty bored and just not really finding that enjoyable. There's some great energy across it, but the issue with it is I don't think the beat is really very good. I think it's kind of annoying. And I particularly really hate Young Thug's verse because I don't like Young Thug, so I just kind of hate him on this song. It's probably the worst track to come into the album at this point. It's just kind of not really fits here, and it also got a single. It was released prior to the album. I don't know why he did that. But next we got this song Pressure in My Palms, which was one of the most anticipated songs off this album when I was reading the track list because of freaking Vince Staples' guest verse. And he delivers. My God, Vince kills it. I love Vince Staples so much, but my God, this was an amazing verse. There's a really heavy bass. There's a really nice beat. There's something a little more kind of slower down to it. But the problem is that I think, well, there's not really a problem with this song, actually. I don't know what I'm saying, but the final verse of this song is also really fun. It has kind of, I'm forgetting his name. Aminé throwing around some Kanye references. It's kind of fun. I do want to mention, though, that I think Slow Tie, or I'm forgetting even what his name is, I think he was on this song. And to be honest, I just thought he was okay. He's a UK rapper, and he's enjoyable. He does bring nice energy, but it doesn't really come across as anything that's that striking. And I think Vince does a lot better. Next, we have the track Riri, which I just could have done without. It's another song about a toxic relationship, which I just don't really find that appealing. I think the general consensus of the song is just kind of annoying. It's just kind of a bland song. It's not like Compensating, where I don't think it's actually very good. I think it's just honestly kind of bland and just didn't really need to be here. I don't really have much to say, and it was really necessary. Next is the track Easy, which is my favorite beat, I think, off this album. Maybe Roots' beat better, but I love this Latin beat. This is way better than the Can't Decide beat. This Latin beat just has a really nice rhythm, really nice smooth. The guitar in the backgrounds is amazing. There's a nice trap and bass to it that fits with that. Summer Walker, sorry. His vocals are really pretty and they really work well. I like the way her and Aminé really give some energy and some chemistry to the song. The Latin influences obviously are great on this. It's one of my favorites to come off of this album. Then we have the track Mama, which is up there with Roots, and Pressure in My Palms is one of my favorites. The piano beat is really atmospheric, and I really freaking love it. And I love it as a tribute to his mother. It's not too hard. It's not too hard to get behind. Aminé's not trying to go too far. He's not trying to do something that's out of his range. He's just rapping about how he is that. Oh my gosh, out of the way. He's just rapping about like how he loves his mother and how he will bring her to the Grammy stage. It's a really nice song to listen to. And the singing at the end is beautiful, and I love it. The hook is great. I like the little Dear Mama reference in the middle, just because any Pac reference I'm going to love. But this is one of my favorites on the album. I think it has the best. I think it's the most emotional, but it's not out of his range. Because Aminé, I don't want to go to make something like Dance with the Devil depressing. I want him to kind of, if he wants to get a little more emotional, I feel like he needs to kind of pull back and not really go too far. And I think he realizes that, and he doesn't really go too far on this. It's really nice and great song. Next is the track Becky, which I kind of like, but when I first heard this song, I didn't really realize it was about. I thought it was just another toxic relationship song, which I don't really care for. But then I started to realize that I feel like this is supposed to be a interrelate. I think I'm not sure about this. This is supposed to be an interracial relationship, and I think it's really nice in that sense. I think the way they handle it's really nice. I like the way he's saying, I wish I could change the way society views it, but in our culture, we're viewed as different. It's actually viewing on an issue I find a little wrong, which is that some people will look at a black person and a white person being friends and just say that's not okay, when we're just all humans, basically. I find that general consensus annoying, and I think he touches on that well in the song. So it has a nice guitar, it has great singing in it. It's better than the other toxic relationship songs in it, because I feel like it actually has a purpose. Next we have the track Fetus, which I hated the first time, but like as it kind of goes, I start to really like it. I don't really understand what he's trying to say in the hook, saying, baby girl, we can have a baby, but what kind of man does that make me if I bring him into this world? I don't understand what he's trying to say there, him saying we can have a baby, but what kind of man does that make me if I make a baby? I don't get what he's trying to say. I feel like it's just kind of desperately trying to reach to be Lost Ones by J. Cole, but like not really knowing how to do what J. Cole did. But I think the ending line actually of this song is actually really great, where he's talking about how life is, and how he realizes once he gets famous that life isn't all about the money, the clothes, like it seemed like before he got it. And then he ends the song off with a really great quote that's, "Why does this grapefruit taste better than my Ferrari?" Which is put at a lower pitch and there's no beat across it. It, like, obviously you're meant to hear it. And this part actually kind of like hit me. And what I liked about it is because it feels like he's trying to say, yeah, you can look at fame and you can see that as the pinnacle, but like this simple grapefruit, I hate grapefruit. I don't know why he's using that as an example, but this simple like fruit is giving me more happiness, and it's better than this sports car, because the sports car is not natural and it's not actually what happiness is. I think it's a great way to transition to the final song, and it's a great track, honestly. It's a great line too. I think that works really well with the song. I think Fetus is actually one of the betters off this album. And then we have the ending song, My Reality, which is a little more intense, a little more emotional, but it's a great conclusion, has a really nice ending to it. I feel like it ends a little abruptly, and I kind of like that. It's nothing that's blowing my mind, but it does have the more emotional, more realistic side of the album. And it ends the album off on a great note. This was everything I feel Aminé needed to do for a sophomore album. Kind of with tracks like Mama, trying to reach out a little more and trying to be a little more emotional, but not going too far. He continues to bring the same style of energy that he brought on Good For You, and even like better this time. I don't know if I like this more than Good For You, because I do really enjoy that album, but this is still a great project. I feel like Aminé could have made something that was trying to go too far and trying to be really intense, but obviously Aminé knows we're not taking him like extremely seriously, and this result is being one of the most consistent rappers in the game today. I'm very interested to hear what else he's bringing in the next, whether it comes to features or new projects. We probably won't hear another album for a while, but this was a very enjoyable album. It's not one of my favorites to come into this year, because it wasn't gonna be one of my favorites. I do think there are a couple of tracks on this that I just don't care for, Compensating being one, Riri, songs like that do kind of burden. Those songs do kind of bring the album down for me, but then there's songs like Mama, songs like Roots, and Pressure in My Palms, and Easy that make this an incredibly listenable and fun album. It's not one of the best albums to come out of 2020, but it is quite a listenable album, and I did quite enjoy it, and I think Aminé didn't go too far. He did what he needed to for a sophomore album. I'm feeling a B+ for Aminé's Limbo. I never even said it was called Limbo. This is the first time I'm saying it's called Limbo. That's weird. I forgot that was the title. When you guys think of this new album, I will probably review NLE Choppa's debut later. I don't know how much I care, but people are saying it's filled with bangers. I don't care, honestly, but I'll listen to it. Maybe I'll make a quick thoughts on that. I don't know. We'll see what I do. You might see another review tonight for that. But see you guys next time, and bye.